Many drivers today still call US Route 491 by its old name, Route 666, the notorious Devil's Highway. In 2003, officials renumbered it US 491 to escape its biblical stigma, since 666 is literally the mark of the beast in Revelation. But putting a new number on the map didn't erase the spooky lore. In fact, this lonely 200-mile stretch through Utah, Colorado, and New Mexico has seen an uncanny number of wrecks and ghostly tales. Between 2000 to 2001, a 70-mile segment near Gallup, New Mexico recorded 489 accidents, 13 fatal, and just a few years later, after it became 491, that crash dropped to 20 accidents, 1 fatal. Coincidence or curse? Either way, locals say the highway's reputation lives on. The curse of 666. In 2003, the road was officially renamed US 491 to shake off the mark of the beast stigma. Call it luck or legend, after the renaming, the accident rate plummeted from 489 down to 20 in that same stretch. Deadly reputation. Writers note the number 666 haunted drivers' minds. People literally refuse to travel the road just for fear of the devil's number. When a highway earns nicknames like Devil's Highway, Satan's Highway, or Highway to Hell, you know the stories must be wild. Eerie reports, even today, bizarre claims continue. Tales include phantom 18-wheelers chasing cars, ghostly brides in white, unexplained bright lights, and packs of demon dogs on the loose. As one road blog puts it, Route 666 has seen ghost cars, odd accidents, and UFOs, alongside its spectral sedan and hitchhikers. With that set up, let's dive into the 6 most chilling mysteries of the Devil's Highway, and you decide if they're fact, fiction, or something in between. Mystery 1. The Phantom Semi-Truck. Picture this: you're driving alone at midnight. The desert stretches out, silent under the stars, until suddenly you see headlights roaring toward you. But there's no driver, just a speeding 18-wheeler hurtling down the center line. Drivers on Route 666 have reported exactly this terrifying scenario. According to one account, a man's wife was driving toward Gallup when a blazing semi-truck suddenly appeared right in front of them, roaring so fast that sparks flew from its smokestack. The truck looked literally engulfed in flames, even though there was no fire source. Then it was gone, racing off at an impossible 130 miles per hour. Other truckers tell similar tales of a black, headless semi with blazing headlights chasing cars on the highway, before vanishing without a trace. Blazing apparition. In one story, a witness says he watched a driverless semi bearing down on him, its wheels glowing as if on fire, then disappear into the dark. Phantom headlights. Another legend describes a menacing black truck that materializes on a lonely stretch, roaring past other vehicles to force them off the road. Mechanical mayhem. Even without ghost trucks, drivers report unexplained breakdowns. Tires suddenly blow out or engines die on perfectly good rigs. Locals shrug this off as the curse affecting the vehicles themselves. Trucker Murray Patrick, who collects highway tales, warns, if you ever see a speeding rig with no obvious driver, do not stop. Just keep going, she says. Slowing down only invites trouble. After all, would you rather risk mysterious mechanical failure, or speeding through the unknown? Mystery 2. The Devil's Sedan and Vanishing Motorists. The madness isn't limited to semis. Witnesses also describe a classic black roadster, a 1930s Pierce Arrow, chasing them down Route 666. Folklore writer Brad Steiger notes this Devil's Sedan has been blamed for at least 5 deadly crashes. Drivers say the antique car roars past at terrifying speed and then disappears in a cloud of dust. Even regular vehicles act strangely. In one collection of ghost stories, people claimed their cars just vanished on the highway. They'd blink and suddenly find themselves hours later in Gallup or Shiprock with no memory of how they got there, sometimes with a broken part of the car, or their luggage, left behind on the road. Spectral Roadster. Multiple accounts speak of a black 1930s car that forces other vehicles off the road. Researcher Brad Steiger reports that eyewitnesses attribute at least 5 deaths to this phantom car. Oncoming sedan. Other motorists have been suddenly confronted by a ghostly black sedan in the opposite lane, pushing them off the pavement. By the time you react, the car is gone. Ghostly disappearances. Some tales even claim drivers themselves disappear. In a few accounts, after such an encounter, a driver would later wake up miles down the road with no recollection of the drive. Tire tracks sometimes end abruptly, and terrified survivors swear the road bent reality. Has anyone else lost time in their travels? Let us know if you've ever felt time warp on an empty highway. Mystery 3. Packs of hellhounds on the highway. Rumbling along the asphalt, some say they hear a chorus of growls and the patter of paws in the desert night. Indeed, Route 666 is said to be patrolled by hellhounds, packs of massive black dogs from nightmare folklore. Witnesses describe these spectral canines sprinting alongside cars at top speed. According to local legend, these beasts have red, glowing eyes and the strength to tear apart tires or rip open a vehicle with razor-sharp claws. Navajo lore even suggests they could be skinwalkers wearing wolf pelts, sent to punish travelers on cursed ground. Track marks on the tarmac. Several drivers have reported suddenly seeing paw prints or the sound of panting close behind. Miraculously, their tires weren't burst, but the memory haunts them. These hounds are said to keep up even with highway speeds, no matter how fast you go. Savage attacks. Folklorist accounts, via Braj Tiger, mention motorcyclists who had both arms chewed off by ferocious ghost dogs, and another who was 90% facially mauled by the pack. Whether these stories are real or tall tales, they sure make you want to check the rearview mirror. Would you gun the engine if you heard furious barking behind your car? Would those be warning growls, or an attack in the making? Think twice the next time you see a pair of glowing eyes in your headlights. Mystery 4. The Lady in White and Phantom Hitchhikers. Route 666 also has its share of eerie hitchhikers, especially the classic Lady in White. Many travelers report seeing a young woman in a white dress wandering the roadside at night. When kind drivers stop to help or give her a lift, she simply vanishes from the vehicle. One famous story describes a driver taking a beautiful bride in white to a cemetery. By the time they arrived at the gates, the girl had disappeared into thin air. The vanishing girl. Witnesses say this spectral girl often looks frightened or hurt. Just as you reach her side, poof, she's gone. It's reminiscent of other ghost lore hitchhikers, think Chicago's Resurrection Mary, but here she's sometimes called the Ghost Bride. Haunting request. Some truckers tell of picking up an exhausted woman pleading to go home. On arrival, she vanishes en route, leaving only an empty seat and unanswered questions. Cursed encounter. Legend suggests the lady in white is a newlywed killed on the road decades ago. Seeing her might even be considered bad luck, a spectral omen that you just outran a deadly crash. So, if you saw a pale bride by the guardrail, would you dare stop? Would you believe her plea for help, or wonder if you're staring at a hallucination? Let us know in the comments. Have you had any hitchhikers disappear in your
Mystery
rearview
5.
mirror? Skinwalkers and sacred Navajo sites. Much of Route 666 cuts through Navajo Nation lands, where ancient beliefs still linger. The most famous landmark here is Shiprock, Sabitei, a jagged volcanic monolith jutting out of the desert. Navajo legend says Shiprock was once the back of a giant bird that carried their people across the sky. Because of these ancestral stories, climbing the rock is forbidden, for fear of disturbing the ghosts of their ancestors. Locals whisper that visitors who disrespect the land might awaken something. Skinwalker legends. In Navajo culture, skinwalkers are evil shamans who wear animal skins, often wolves or coyotes, to gain power. Some drivers on Route 666 report encountering creature-like beings on the road, men in wolf's clothing or huge coyotes that walk on two legs, and then suddenly vanish. Ancient warnings. The very number 666 was an affront, so some say the road is already cursed territory. Combine that with sacred sites around Shiprock, and you get a recipe for superstition. Locals might even refuse to say the word coyote or set foot here at night. Spiritual highway. To the Navajo, the desert nights have power. Stories suggest that telling these tales keeps the spirits calm, but drawing attention, and cars, to the area can make the legends seem real. Would you drive this stretch under the moon if you knew skinwalkers might lurk at the side of the road? Even if you don't believe in native lore, it's hard not to feel the hair rise passing Shiprock's shadow after dark. Mystery 6: UFOs and Mysterious Lights. Not everything reported on Route 666 is strictly earthly. Over the years, travelers have seen unexplained lights in the night sky or along the roadside. Some claim to have seen bright glowing orbs darting above the road, so strange that they wonder if UFOs are joining the ghost train. Others think these are just atmospheric oddities or fireflies seen from too far away. Orb sightings. Witnesses describe balls of light bobbing in the distance or streaking across the sky. A few videos on the internet, grainy, as you'd expect, show flickering lights that vanish when approached. Alien Highway? Northern New Mexico isn't too far from Area 51 lore, and some UFO hunters joke that the Devil's Highway is a backroad for extraterrestrials. Of course, skeptics point out obvious answers: street lamps over the horizon, airplane strobes, or distant vehicle lights reflected. Spirits or science? Paranormal blogs note that strange aerial phenomena have been tied to Route 666. Whether you call it alien, ghostly, or natural light refraction, many drivers make sure to snap their phones if something weird blinks into view. Next time you're behind the wheel at night and see a UFO dancing on the horizon, would you chase it, or decide that enough is enough and pull over? Comment your plan of action below. Are these tales fact or folklore? The evidence is mostly eyewitness and anecdotal, but Route 666 really is hailed as one of the most haunted places in America, according to paranormal writers. Its legacy, winding roads, high peaks, and lonely stretches, seems to invite all manner of strange experiences. We'll leave it to you to decide. Would you take a midnight drive on this highway? Share your thoughts or own encounters in the comments. And remember, whether you believe or not, keep your eyes on the road, and maybe not in the rearview. Safe travels if you dare.